Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be reacting to a video called Is This the Most Violent Match in Football? This is from a channel called Number 9, so check them out. Comment, like, and subscribe.
19 bookings, a brawl, and the GOAT cursing out an opponent on live TV.
Oh.
All of this was delivered to us on the 9th of December 2022 in the most violent game in football history, the quarter-final between Argentina and the Netherlands at the 2022 World Cup. This game was so heated, it was dubbed the Battle of Lucelle.
What's Lucelle?
And this battle didn't just start in 2022. Argentina and the Netherlands have a long-standing rivalry which dates back all the way to the 70s. These guys almost always meet at the World Cup. They met in the group stage in 1974, the final in 78.
Wait, who won the first time? I want to say, I can get now where, that's where the bad blood comes from.
At the World Cup.
But I want to know
they met in the group stage in
Okay, it was 4-0 in the 70s. Okay, so Netherlands
1974, the final in
there was a final. Oh my god, this was 3-1.
78, the quarterfinal in 19.
Oh my god, another quarter. How many times have you get a lot of times? 2-1.
98, group stage in 2000.
Oh my god, it was okay.
Semi-final in 2014.
Okay, a lot of the times they won.
And most recently, the quarterfinal in
and this one.
2022. The 1978 World Cup was hosted by Argentina, and it was alleged that there was a lot of political pressure, much of which favoured Argentina throughout the tournament. Argentina won the final 3-1, denying the Netherlands a first ever World Cup trophy. And you could say that that was where the Dutchmen started to hate the Argentines.
I can see why.
In 1998, the Netherlands won with a 90th minute winner from Bergkamp, which is still regarded as one of the greatest goals in World Cup history. The 2014 semi-final was tight. It ended 0-0, and Argentina went on to win on penalties. Interestingly, the man in charge of the Dutchmen at the 2014 tournament was the same man in charge in 2022. Louis van Gaal had retired in 2019, but he came out of retirement for one last dance with the Netherlands national team. Their tournament started great, much better than Argentina's. The Netherlands topped their group without losing a single game. Meanwhile, Argentina lost their opening game of the tournament to a more inferior Saudi Arabia. The Netherlands... Well,
and the fact that they won this World Cup, I think goes to show that, sometimes, again, you can have a bad game, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be bad throughout that season and throughout this competition.
Unbeaten streak going into the quarterfinal was 19, and they were looking to extend it. Perhaps all of that gave the Dutchmen too much confidence, and they started to make some really bold statements. In the build-up to the game, Van Gaal said, "We've got a score to settle with Argentina for what happened 2 World Cups ago." But more controversially, he suggested that...
I like that those are actual, I think it seemed like an actual quote. I like that they're actually sort of, given those dramatic quotes. I thought it was more chill. Maybe they hated each other. It was sort of behind the scenes. But I didn't know that they were, no, I'm going to outright tell you, yes, tell them I am coming against them. It's okay, sure.
Lionel Messi was Argentina's weak link, and that really upset the Argentines. They don't joke about their captain, so they made sure to hold a grudge. The man in charge of this game was Mateo Lahoz, the now retired Spanish referee known as a no-nonsense ref, whose fingers were never too far from a card.
Okay, sure.
The first 10 minutes were a cagey affair. Both sides had chances, but they were very disciplined at the back, so nothing went through. In the 10th minute, Messi found Acuna, but the fullback was unable to find anybody in the box with his cross. Minutes later, a pass was threaded to Steven Bergwijn, but Emi Martinez was quick to come out and claim the ball. In the 22nd minute, we saw Messi hit the ball wide off the mark from outside the box, and shortly after that, Bergwijn also went wide from just outside the box. There was really nothing between these guys for the first 30 minutes of the game, and we all knew that it would take something spectacular for the deadlock to be broken.
Yeah.
And that was exactly what Lionel Messi produced in the 35th minute. The former Barcelona man came up with one of the most insane defense-splitting passes we have ever seen. Nahuel Molina got at the end of it, and boom. Argentina were a goal up. Messi had just provided one of the craziest assists in World Cup history. But little did we know that he was going to give us even more unforgettable moments that same.
I like this because looking at this and already knowing what happened, it was very minutes before tragedy. You wouldn't know what comes after this. You're celebrating now, but we'll see.
But for now, the game was still looking rather peaceful and straightforward.
Yeah.
We had only seen one yellow card, and it went to Argentina's assistant coach, Walter Samuel.
Why?
How can you call this game the most violent in football history? Well, with just minutes left in the first half, the players said, "Hold my beer," and things really started to heat up.
Why?
The first yellow card to a player came in the 43rd minute after Acuna caught Dumfries pretty late. Jurriën Timber was mad about the foul, and he reacted by pushing Acuna to the ground. Lejos didn't hesitate to show him a yellow card too.
Correct.
Just 3 minutes later, Cristian Romero handled the ball pretty blatantly and was immediately booked for that. The Netherlands would then get a free kick that looked threatening, but Martinez handled it rather easily. He would later hope he was able to handle an even more important free kick just as easily later in the game. But for now, the cards didn't stop flowing. Wout Weghorst was so desperate to get in on the action that he got booked while on the bench.
He was on the bench.
The Dutch fans must have been so
I understand, because I think it's gotta be more, if you're the player, you're stressed, but you have to keep, you're playing. But if you're on the bench, it just gotta be extra stressful because you just wanna, oh my God, put me in, I know what I'm doing.
Mad at him for getting such a pointless yellow. Little did they know he was warming up some real heroics for the second half. The game was really...
No, I'm sorry. I think I get why they do this. I think the referee needs to do this in order for the game not to be completely out of control. Again, I'm just going objectively here, but I can get it. I mean, I understand why, if you're the fan, you're thinking, oh, that was excessive. But I think he was doing it, and apparently he was a very nonsense referee. He had to do this because otherwise the game goes off the rails, as apparently it did. But, at least he tried.
Heating up now. We had gone 42 minutes without seeing any player getting booked, only for us to see 4 bookings in 5 minutes.
Oh my God.
Everyone thought that the halftime break would help quell the volcano that was brewing, but it actually went on to erupt fully in the second period.
What happened in the...
The Netherlands were so desperate to get back into the game, so they came into the second half breathing fire. Their attacking efforts intensified, tackles
again, they knew that they had to win because otherwise they were out.
Intensified, and the violence most definitely intensified. Not long into the second half, Dumfries and Van Dijk combined and brought Messi down just outside the box, which provided Messi a goal-scoring chance, but his strike just scraped the crossbar. Then, in the 71st minute, Acuna was brought down by Dumfries just at the edge of the box, so Lajos awarded Argentina a penalty. Messi stepped up and converted pretty coolly. 2-0 Argentina. After Messi was done celebrating with his teammates, he walked towards the Netherlands bench and cupped his ears in Van Gaal's direction, a gesture which had huge symbolism. That celebration was done by Juan Roman Rico.
I'm sorry, what? I have to watch this again. He did it. He did this? That's hilarious.
Celebrating with his teammates, he walked towards the Netherlands bench and cupped his ears in Van Gaal's direction, a gesture which had huge symbolism. That celebration was done by Juan Roman Riquelme, a man who Messi regards as one of his heroes. So Van Gaal coached Riquelme at Barcelona, and to cut the long story short, the Dutchman nearly ended the Argentine's career by consistently refusing to play him. But Riquelme would later get a chance, and when he scored, he cupped his ears at Van Gaal. So after everything Van Gaal said about him before the game, Messi felt that
Okay, but I can see again they had history. He had history with his hero. Okay,
that was the most appropriate gesture in the moment after having scored and put his team 2 goals up.
Yeah.
Messi must have thought that his 73rd minute goal had sealed the win for his team, but it seems Messi poked the bear with his celebration. After that goal, Van Gaal made a very huge change. He took off Memphis.
Did Van Gaal do anything? He was just sort of, oh my God, okay, you're such a child, and that's it. Okay, sure.
And brought in Weghorst. But just before...
He can't assault a player, right? But I don't know what I would have done.
Before that change, something interesting happened. A cross was sent into the Argentine box, but Eni Martinez got to it first, and Luc de Jong found himself on the ground. That led to a little altercation, which saw the ref show yellow cards to Memphis.
I'm sorry, but I have to go back, because to me this seems like the most innocuous thing ever.
On the ground. That led to a...
Yeah, why is he mad? I don't understand. The goalkeeper is mad.
But Eni Martinez got to it first, and Luc de Jong found himself on the ground. That led to a little altercation.
What's up with this? I don't get it. It's whatever, we crashed, it happens, it wasn't personal, but I think maybe it's just, again, there were, I know, anything is an excuse in order to be up in your face because they were hating each other up at this point.
Which saw the ref show yellow cards to Memphis and Lisandro Martinez. But if you think that was it for the bust-ups in this game, you're in for a real shocker. After Weghorst came in, the Netherlands coach said,
okay, so, that's the guy that got the yellow card earlier on.
Hell with build-ups, and just instructed his players to cross the ball in for the 6'6" centre-forward. Did it work? You bet it did. Just 5 minutes after he came on, Weghorst got to the end of a beautiful cross from Berghuis and halved the deficit in the 83rd minute.
That's the important part.
Now this was when the real battle started. The Netherlands intensified their efforts to get an equaliser, while Argentina got super nervous about losing their lead. In the 85th minute, Berghuis hit the side netting, shortly after which he saw yellow for a foul on Messi at the centre of the pitch. And then in the 88th minute, we reached the crescendo of the whole brouhaha, the real Battle of Lucelle. Paredes fouled Arke, but like that wasn't bad enough. He stood up and booted the ball straight into the Netherlands bench, and all hell was let loose. The entire Dutch bench came
storming. That was badly done. I have to watch it again. No, but that was badly done.
Paredes fouled Arke, but like that wasn't bad enough. He stood up and booted the ball straight into the Netherlands bench, and all hell was let loose. The entire Dutch bench came storming towards Paredes.
Of course they did. Oh my God, someone touched.
The Argentines came to lend assistance to their teammate, and a proper brawl broke out. Perhaps the biggest fight we've seen in a World Cup game. Tensions rose to the roof as players fell to the ground. The action was going down as the cards were flying up. Paredes and Scaloni saw yellow at that moment, but that was...
Oh, but that's the coach. What would we do if you're the referee? I don't know. Give everyone a yellow card, get red card. Everyone's. Well, no, you can't. The game has to continue somehow. I don't know. I would have given a yellow card to everyone. Stop being
only
kids.
Just the beginning. Lahoz was still going to show a lot more cards in that game.
Oh my God,
but for
really?
now,
but maybe that's what he should have gone for the red, and that way people would have stopped because they knew they could get away with it. It's okay. You're not going to give me a red card, so I'm just going to continue. So if I were him, I would have gone for the red.
He managed to get the game under control. Lengthy additional time was a theme of this World Cup, and this match did not disappoint. 10 minutes were added, and once that number went up on the board, we all just knew that this box office football match still had some more drama for us. And we weren't wrong. In additional time, we saw Nicolas Otamendi and Lionel Messi get booked, but more significantly, we saw the Netherlands get awarded a free kick in the very last minute of stoppage time. We thought that Koopmeiners would just blast the ball and hope for the best, but instead he went for a tricky pass which beat the Argentine wall and reached Weghorst, who scored. The entire stadium went up in raptures.
Of course
we had just seen one of the great free kick routines in World Cup history. And it coming in the very last second of this crazy game felt like the icing on an insane cake. But the match still wasn't over. As we went into extra time, the violence and drama made sure to come along with us. Extra time was a lot more cagey. It seemed like both teams were trying to be careful not to lose it all in the blink of an eye. They both had chances, but Argentina had more of them. And Scaloni decided to capitalize on that by...
You can see this man sweating, he's biting his nails.
Taking off a centre-back, Lisandro, and bringing on an attacker, Di Maria. The Argentine pressure was really insane in extra time. Lautaro saw his shot blocked by Van Dijk and another saved by Noppert. Di Maria nearly scored straight from a corner. Messi shot just wide off the target a few times, but the closest they came was Enzo Fernandez, hitting the woodwork just seconds before the final whistle went.
Frustrated.
As far as the violence goes, that was still a prevalent theme. We saw 2 more yellow cards shown in extra time, but guess what?
I love because the player's like, what did I do? I didn't do anything.
That was still not all. The game went to penalties. And in every other game, penalties are as straightforward as they come, but certainly not in this game. It was the gift that just wouldn't stop giving. The shootout was the Eni Martinez show. He applied every trick in the book to get into the heads of the Dutchmen, and it worked. He saved their first 2 kicks while Argentina converted theirs. Argentina stumbled when Enzo missed, but Eni's heroics were enough to secure the win for Argentina. As Lautaro walked up to take the last penalty, the Dutchman tried to get into his head, but that only earned Dumfries 2 bookings in the space of 1 minute.
God.
We saw a player get red carded during a penalty shootout. Where have you ever seen that happen before?
That's crazy.
Dumfries' bookings took the tally to 19, and that became a record for the most bookings in a FIFA international tournament. Now, how can you argue this game being the most violent in football history? But guess what? The drama still wasn't over.
What?
After Lautaro converted the last penalty, Otamendi cupped his ears toward the Netherlands players.
He did it
Messi
again.
exchanged heated words with Van Gaal, and Emi Martinez cursed at the Netherlands coach.
Van Gaal saying, we're going.
Oh my god, everyone, okay, what I could gather is that everyone hates Van Gaal.
And Emi Martinez cursed at the Netherlands coach.
It's so funny because he seems, with the Van Gaal guy, just seems very stoic. He's just sort of, okay, you do you, peace. Sort of bless your heart. Good for you.
Van Gaal saying, we got an advantage in penalties. If we go to penalties, we win. I think he needs to keep his mouth shut.
And then, during his
Well, yeah, of course you can say this because you won.
post-match interview, Messi spotted Weghorst standing not so far off, and he asked the now infamous question, ¿Qué miras, bobo? Which translates to, what are you looking at, fool?
This is the most hilarious thing ever. And besides the guy, I don't know if that's the clip for the actual thing. And he's just sort of threateningly standing there, but he's not doing anything. And you know, it's like psychological pressure. You know exactly what you're doing. So it just makes it funnier that he's just standing there. And if he was just sort of, hey, what are you looking at? And he just sort of, I'm not doing anything. I'm just standing here. I'm not insulting you. I'm not looking at you. But it's, you know what you're doing. You know exactly what you're doing.
This moment,
I want to watch it again, actually. It's the funniest
his post-match
thing ever.
interview, Messi spotted Weghorst standing not so far off,
Standing there.
and he asked the now infamous question,
monster
¿Qué miras,
son.
bobo? Which translates to,
Bro.
what are you looking at, fool? This moment went viral on social media, and all sorts of
so
memes
funny.
were made out of it.
Con Leo Messi. Bueno, Leo, quedaste un poco caliente por el final.
Bro, this game
Because the other guy's super tall, right?
was so heated that fans all around the world nearly got burned just by watching it on TV. If this quarter-final game between Argentina and the Netherlands at the 2022 World Cup isn't the most violent game in football history, then tell me what is in the comments. Pat yourself on the back for watching this far. But guess what? Our video series doesn't end here. The next story brings a whole new perspective to the table. Different, engaging, and equally exciting. Click on the video that appears on the screen to watch more.
Well, this was hilarious. I love this. It's really, I said it before. I just like it when people are fighting in football games. I just like it when players start fighting each other, which I know it's not what I'm supposed to, right? But it just makes it all seem so more dramatic. It just adds a little spice to things. I think it's probably because, again, I'm thinking as the audience here, just like watching it, because it's so, I don't know, I would think, you know, at this level, especially this is a World Cup, this is one of the most sort of, you know, probably the biggest sporting event, you know, when it comes to football, and probably not even football, actually, probably just in sports in general, you know, throughout all the sports. This is probably the biggest one. I don't think I'm mistaken when I say this. So you would think, you know, you have to treat this with the whole, you know, it's something very serious, right? This is not you playing a football game with your mates. No, this is an actual serious thing. Very serious and very important thing. And these are all professional players. These are the most famous, expensive players, the top of the, you know, the best of the best. You know, you're not going to find any, well, maybe you can, right? There's probably some bad players here and there. But ultimately, it's just, again, you are going to find anyone who's anyone in football. They're going to be here. So it is quite strange to me how, you know, everything looks so professional, you know, from the outside, because that's how it should be. But then, no, they start brawling, they start insulting each other, and it's sort of, aren't you an adult? Aren't you a professional? Aren't you like the most famous player in the world? Why are you resorting to petty things? But I like it because, again, that's the rational part of my brain that says this. But the other part of me that enjoys this, you know, as the spectacle of it all, because again, you're the audience and you want to be entertained. It just makes it, oh, so you know, these players never really grew out of this, and it's just, again, you can be the most famous player ever, and you know, the most awarded player, football player, everyone loves you. You're the most, you know, you won, I don't know, the Champions, the Euro League, the whatever. You won this a bunch of times, and you know, you're the most expensive player in the world, but still. again, someone says a stupid thing, a very stupid and silly comment, and then you get so incredibly mad. And would you have a chip on your shoulder? Well, not necessarily, but again, it just seems so funny to me how they're so upset when they're I don't get it. This shouldn't really, I don't know, signify anything in your mind, because it's such, again, you're not important. I know my value basically, but no, they still resort to this petty things. And it's, again, it doesn't really, goes to show that it doesn't matter how famous you are, how many awards you have in your career. There's still a part of your brain that still sort of goes monkey brain, good, bad, and there's just some sort of, I don't know, they start acting like kids. So again, the part of me that likes, the spectacle and wants to be entertained, loves things like this. If I were, maybe again, I know how sports, actual real sports, fans feel about this. I said, I probably like this as well. I don't know. They maybe feel as if, the sport should be, I don't know, should be a little bit more, maybe not serious, but you shouldn't really resort to this kind of things. But I don't know. I think that's part of it. I think it's just, again, and that's why football, I don't really know any other sport that has this. Even in team sports, sort of basketball, baseball, maybe I have no doubt that, of course, sometimes it happens. But I think in football, there's something about football that makes people just go wild. And people are very emotional about this. So I can't imagine, a tennis game. Well, sometimes I assume it happens. A tennis match, two couples, a couple tennis. And then, they start fighting each other. I mean, to this level, probably not. Or a basketball sort of team that fights another team. I mean, it has happened throughout history, I assume, but it's really not that common as in football. And it's just, again, there's something about football that makes people go crazy, go wild, because I think it's a very emotional sport for some reason, because the sport itself is just, I don't know, you're chasing a ball. If you're describing this to someone that has never, seen a football game, it seems quite silly. It's why, how does a sport like that can, I don't know, incite that much passion? But I don't know why. It just does. I don't know the reason behind this. I don't have the logic, but it just happens. So it's really funny to me. That the one, my main takeaway about this game is that it was inevitable, probably, because the bad blood didn't come from nowhere. It wasn't as if, the Dutch and the Argentinian players just woke up this day and decided to form vendettas against each other just because, I don't know, I feel like it. No, it was something that historically, apparently, it had a backstory. It was awaited. There's two teams, because I think in football, the football rivalries also are a thing, and sometimes certain teams it happens, I think, with certain teams and with certain countries in the World Cup specifically, in which they kind of hate each other just on principle because of whatever. So it makes sense that in this case, it was one of those teams that actually hate each other historically. So I can see why, that it was already controversial. Well, not controversial, it's really not the right word. But I can see how, I don't know, things made a turn for the dramatic, just because, again, there were two teams that had this background, and it was a weighted match because of the history that those two countries have. And of course, the personal history, not just that, but the personal history that the Luis van Gaal, that's his name, right? The Dutch coach, had specifically also with Argentina, and then with the other players, with the other Argentinian players. So I think, it makes sense, now I know the backstory. I understand this a little bit better. It didn't come from nowhere. I thought it just came from nowhere. They were just particularly excited. Well, not excited. They particularly wanted to win because it was a quarterfinal. So yes, of course, everyone wants to win. It's the World Cup. You want to advance, and you haven't gone, you haven't killed yourself, throughout 4 years in the qualifying stages, and then in this World Cup throughout the, I don't know, five or is it 4 or 5 matches that you have before this for nothing. It's no, of course I want to win. So of course I thought that it was more about the whole quarterfinal part of the World Cup, thing, and not necessarily, I think it was always a mix between that. Of course, everyone wanted to advance, but also, of course, they have the whole history between each other. So I think my main takeaway is that the everyone hates Luis van Gaal. Well, not everyone, but obviously not the Dutch people. Not the Dutch, but I think a lot of probably, and because it was the other, I can't remember the name of the other player. also made fun of the guy. So I think it's just maybe, again, the whole team, the whole Argentinian, players and all of that, all the Argentines basically hate this guy because, again, historically he did something to another player from Argentina. And, again, the thing started there, but then I can understand why this guy, this Luis Van Gaal, had this vendetta against that Argentine player, because historically, again, he already came from things before that probably, again, that made him hate the players from that country. So it's just sort of a circle. Everything becomes a circle, and this hating circle of, I hate you because you did that, and then, but then you did this to me, and then I hate you. Something like that. So it probably shouldn't have said all the comments that he said. He mentioned something about, oh, Messi, that's a problem with Argentina, which, again, isn't he sort of like the most famous player? Greatest, I think that depends, because everyone's going to have their own sort of personal favorite player. But isn't he considered, objectively one of the greatest players ever? So how are you going to say, oh, he's what's wrong with this team? It's what? The greatest player? What? And then, of course, they were very confident, overly confident, which, never, that's never good. I think you need to strike a good balance between being confident, because I think if you're so unconfident and you're so insecure, that's not really a good look, and that doesn't really make, your actual work, that doesn't really make your work better. So you need to strike a balance between being confident, because I know that I have my team and I know that I have my players, but, there's still something, this sort of, the surprise factor that you just never know. So you can never be 100% sure. So again, I wouldn't go around just, with all bravado being, oh, I'm going to win. Of course, this is a piece of cake. You wouldn't really do that, because then things like that happen. And then they start to, they come and bite back to you. So that's not really a thing that you should be doing. But actually, I think it's one of the funniest parts about this is that all the players were, they were doing the whole making fun of him and all of that. And he just looked to be very normal. He was just, okay, like, you do you, I guess. Which I don't know if that's makes it a little bit, I don't know. Again, as a fan, well, not as a fan, as the audience, makes it a little bit, but I wanted him to be actually, to start fighting against them. That I made for the players, both Messi and I think it was Martinez, I think was the goalkeeper's name. Then, he and the other guy, it's sort of, oh, I'm provoking you. Why aren't you rising up? So maybe it just makes it a little bit, oh, I want to get a rile out of you and I can't. So maybe ultimately that's how he wins. Being all, I don't really care. Yeah, you may have won, but it's fine. I don't really care. So maybe that's why, oh my God, again, that's the chip on their shoulder. I say, yeah, they just won, but still, I hate this guy. So I can only say, I don't know how it is right now, or how it will be in the future. Hopefully these two teams do not face up against each other, but apparently it's bound to happen, right? This isn't the last time, just because they're both great at football, so they're just going to keep qualifying for sporting events. So yes, they're going to keep sort of facing against each other. Hopefully, I think maybe no Van Gaal anymore. Hopefully, and probably no Messi. I don't know. That probably would be the way to go. Although they're inspired in all of this brawl and this situation. Probably inspired a whole new generation of both Dutch and Argentinian players of that sort of to create. They're sort of inspiring a rift in between them. So it will continue, right? This isn't the end, because then I can see people in 15 years, 10 years, or maybe even before, in, I don't know, 4 years, or even now, people being, oh, we hate the Dutch because of what this Van Gaal and the other guy that seems, that was harassing Messi then there. Maybe, again, they hate the Dutch because of what he did, and obviously the Dutch are going to hate the Argentina because they won and all that happened in the game. So it's really funny to me to think, oh my God, they're just creating a new generation of haters, which, again, the rift is going to continue. So again, bad for them and probably bad for the sport. I don't know how bad, but good for you, because you're always going to be entertained. at least that's what I tell myself. But that was it for today, and I'll see you next time. Bye!